Hey, good afternoon. It is noon. Good morning to those who are further away. A good day to you. Um, I think I've just sent a ping that we're live. I'm sure some of you who are online already, on board, I should say, would have received a ping that we're going live. But I'm not taking things for granted. And so I am making sure that I tell enough people so that indeed we can have as best a time or good a time as possible. So I'm still typing. I'm still sending it, telling people we're live, and so that they should join. And you should tell your friends. You should tell your family about the live Q&A. As I always say, what do you stand to lose? Information is free. It's going to empower you. It's going to equip you for what the Lord has committed into your hands. I have said it's a privilege to be a dad, a privilege to be a mom. And so arming yourself with information that you can use, to engage your young ones and keep them safe from the rogues, the internet rogues. Okay, so please let your friends know. Tell them that the Family Cyber Clinic live Q&A is on right now. So get going. I give you a few seconds whilst I also tell my own contacts that we are live. I've sent it to 3. Let's see if I can get some more people. Okay, we are live. Sent it to 4. I send it to 1 more. We are live. It's interesting. I love that I'm chasing you. Yeah. It's fun to chase. I'm going to chase you so that you are armed. It can't hurt. Okay. I still have a few more that I'm sending. We are live. Even if that means only one person joins through this effort, I think my job is well done. Okay. I will send to 1 more. Let's see. We are live. I've not seen anything on the comments yet, so I don't know who's here. Please, if you're here and you're on board, please say hello in the chat. Hello, so that we would know that you are with us. Okay? All right. Can see 2 people. 2 people, I think. And that's just based on what I'm seeing in the app that I'm using. So say hello. Don't be shy. Lower the music a bit. Okay. Jazz never hurt anyone. That's it. Okay. How many more? Still have those 2. Okay, say hello. Come on, say hello. Say hello so that I know I am not alone. I know you're joining in your numbers, but I want you, I can see it going up, but I want you to say hello. So I know everything is working. Okay, do that. So I know things are working. Just say hello in the chat. And as you can see the ticker, please send your questions via the comment section. I have 2 questions already that I chose from the lot that we received from those who registered via the website. So those questions will be tackled, but I'm giving you enough time to, get your act together. Come on, I'm still waiting for you to say hello. This cranky chair. Stop making noise. Okay. It listened. See, it listened to me. You're not listening to me. Say hello in the chat. Come on. And if you're new to, if this is your first live Q&A, please just put new against your comments. Just say new and then say hello. New and then say hello, so I can welcome you to the family. Okay? Please do. I'm excited about the two questions, I think. Yeah, two questions that I got from two parents, two moms. And I think that's quite crucial. That moms, I'm excited about moms. I don't know why. I'm a dad. So I'm excited when moms make it their business, when they make it their business to get information so that they can empower and lead their young ones when they engage online. So I'm excited that moms are asking questions. Oh, Karim. And Karim, this is your first time. Wow. Karim Lee. And I will be very surprised if there are no other new ones. But Karim, thank you so much for your hello. You're very welcome to the family. Needless to say, you're at home. This is home. And I'm hoping that we would indeed engage, today. We only have an hour, but it's an hour that we can do a lot of things with. So welcome again. Thank you for your support. It means so much. Okay. All right. We're increasing on the other side, but there's no other hello or new and all that. But it's good. It's good. I give you a few more minutes, not seconds. Still waiting. Still waiting. Okay. Da-da-ba-ba. All right, another 2 minutes and we will definitely go into the questions. Prep your questions and please ask away. So I dedicate an hour of my time, of the clinic's time, to answer your questions. Any question related to internet safety for families. That's why I'm here. I have the information. And where I'm not able to answer your question directly, I'll definitely put you in contact with someone or somewhere where you get the information. And that's what excites me. That's the passion. That's what I live for. That's what the channel lives for. And that's just to get you to that place where you will be better than at the beginning when you joined. And that's the key thing. The key thing is the information I'm going to give you will take you to that next level in knowledge that you are going to now have that will arm you. I've often said on the platform that parents are intimidated by the knowledge that their young ones have, and hence they don't engage them. You are not to, stop parenting where it, where it's sort of convenient. That's not right. You have the wisdom required to engage your young ones, on a lifelong journey. And so information from the channel can only make that better. Okay? All right. So it is 10 past. And I did say that it will start in 2 minutes. So we will kick off. Again, thank you for those who are visiting for the first time. I've already said hello and welcome to Kareem. I love doing this. I hope that it shows. The effort that you see is all to do with my passion to make sure that we are leading our young ones the right way. Okay? And so I'll go to, again, for those who are visiting for the first time, we do this every month. So the live Q&A is every month, the last Saturday of the month at noon UK time or GMT. And we do this so that we give you an opportunity to, in real time, engage with the clinic and ask any question that is, bothering you, questions that will, augment the information you have already so that you are well armed. All right. So please, every month, join us. Get your friends, get your families, as you can see on the screen. Also subscribe to the channel, because as you support the channel, we are inspired to dig for more materials or more information to help you along. So if you've not subscribed, do that now. And again, as I've said in prior videos or live shows, YouTube will get this content to a lot more people if we are engaging. And by engagement, I mean if we're liking the video, if we're chatting and commenting and subscribing. These are the things that YouTube scan and look for so that they can, push this content. So apart from you benefiting from the content, others out there will get to see the content and the channel becomes popular as a result. And you would admit that this information is necessary for all those who are not, as gifted or knowledgeable as you are. Kunle, welcome. Good afternoon to you. All right. So I will look at the question that I received via email. And it was about cookies. I think we covered it in one of the live shows, but I know that you've seen this. Let me see if I can present it. You've seen these messages. Let's see. You've seen this message before. Something like, what have I done? You've seen something like, all right, let me go to another channel and see if I can. So you've seen something like this. I'll go to a website that I know would prompt me. Okay, so we're talking about cookies. Hello, Valerie. Hello, Zachary. Hello, Juanita and Ogo. Wow. You're very welcome, very welcome, very welcome. All right. You shouldn't hate. You shouldn't hate. I'm showing you what should come up in a second. I'm not quite sure why the internet is dragging its feet, but something is supposed to come up shortly. Don't hate. Why are you not coming up? Okay, so you can see it immediately comes up with, I don't know whether you can see that, but let's see. You can see, let me see if I can pull that up. It says accept cookies. Basically, you get messages saying accept cookies. And this is happening a lot now. And some of you, if you've not already been asking that question, would be wondering why do you have to agree? Why do you have to? And it was Esther, a member of the clinic, who asked this question via an online submission, basically asking what she should do when this message that comes up periodically on URLs that she types in that says accept cookies. And at times it can be quite a nuisance because it's in your face, it's covering the page or the information you want, and it's nagging you to accept. And I don't know whether you've noticed that the close button is usually very difficult and cryptic. It's either in the top left or top right, very, and it's designed that way. These guys are really, really wise. They do it so that you do not ignore the message. So people who design the cookie message are doing it so that it's not the first thing you do, because naturally you're reaching out to hit X because you want information, but they're presenting you with what is legit, which is legal for you to do. And that's because of the GDPR requirements, or if you are out of Europe, it will be the privacy laws that are now quite robust. In England, in the UK, in Europe, I should say, I think it was 2018, sometime in May, there were guidelines, there were regulations, GDPR, it's called, here in the EU. Actually, we're not members of the EU again, so I can say UK. But we're still upholding the GDPR regulations. So it mandated that certain things needed to be done anytime it relates to data. And you will understand that data consumption is something that we all do. We either consume it or we give it. We either give it by giving our details when we're filling online forms and things like that, or take it as we go to YouTube, we go to Netflix, we're consuming data. So to safeguard us, and that's why the clinic has released videos about the GDPR regulations and what it means to us, little people. It is vital that we acquaint ourselves with the reasons why we have to do what we tend to do or have to do now, by way of accepting or rejecting cookies. A cookie is and I don't know how to simplify it other than it is, some will say file, and I can say it's a file, but ultimately a cookie is information that you are transmitting. So if you're logging on to a website or websites, or you're visiting different URLs, a cookie will capture that information. So a cookie will capture information about your IP address, which identifies you on the network, your location at times, and your browsing history, your preferences, what it is you like. And so by law, based on the regulations, and for those who are just visiting, we're talking about the menace of accepting cookies or rejecting. What should we do when those messages turn up? Now, when those messages turn up, we have to make a decision. And the reason why we have to make a decision is that the vendor, the website you're visiting, is asking for your permission to use the data that you are unknowingly transmitting. So they have to, so they now can't just use your data. So because you are, storing your location history, your browsing history, and all that on your computer, a cookie can capture that information. But to use the information for the vendor to use the information, they need your permission. And when you say agree, some of us agree without even reading it. Shame on you. When we agree, we are saying, yes, we don't mind that you use our personal data. And the moment you say you don't mind, they now have a locator or if you like, on your system, which is a file, a cookie for that URL. So as far as that vendor engages with you, they are able to capture information and serve you. So your browsing experience improves with the information they gather. Like if you go to Amazon and you have accepted cookies, they can now serve you content or offers based on what they've seen that you like. So if you are always on BBC Sports, then you'll find that Amazon may be able to serve you content about sporting gear because they know you love sports. But if you disagree or reject or disallow the cookie, they can't capture that information. And if they do, even when you've rejected it, legally, they're in trouble. So for vendors to make sure that people are visiting their sites, accepting to visit their sites, they are mandated to present you with that cookie question. And so you have to accept it or reject it. Okay? Now, what would the clinic advise we do? I hear many of you say. Now, you can see here that it says Sky uses cookies to create a better experience for you. If you agree, they have a file on your system relating to just that vendor. The fact that you agree doesn't mean that it will agree it for all websites you visit. That will just be for Sky. So Sky will have a cookie stored in your cache. So every time you go to Sky, it knows that they've already served you in the past. And with your history, they're able to serve you and make your experience a lot better. Now, it is advisable that you only accept cookies on sites that you know and that you want to do business, if you like, with. You should not always, because what I'm seeing, and it happens to me, so I know it must be happening to you, where websites, you're browsing a website and another website comes up, but because they are flashing the accept cookie message and you are desperate to go to your destination, you're accepting cookies and going to the destination without knowing that you've just accepted the cookie from a vendor you did not intend to accept it from. And that is vitally important that from time to time, and we will recommend every week, check your cache history, check your cookie history. There's a way to manage it, and perhaps we will release a video, or if time permits, I will show us how to do it. But you must empty your cache from time to time. So those that you want to keep, you keep. But those that you don't want to, you can delete because you don't recognize it. But a cookie is there to improve the experience you have whilst engaging on particular websites. You must not accept cookies for sites you don't want to do business with. You can reject it, just close it and leave the page. But accept those that you want to do business with to improve your browsing experience. Okay? So it's important. So here I'm happy to say agree because I know I have a Sky account. I can sign in and do my stuff, so I can agree. But from time to time, I should be able to, if this allows me, let me see. Where you see the three buttons here, come on. Where you see these three buttons here, you can go and manage your settings. And this I'm doing on, what is it called now? It's a Mac computer. But you should be able to browse the settings of the browser you're in to empty the cache. those who want that information can send a comment in in the chat, and I'll take that to mean that you want that information, and if time permits, we can do that. Okay, but let me go back to the screen so that you can, let's see if we can answer any more. I still note that you are a lot online, but very few are just reading. Very few are sending questions in. So we've captured the accept cookies. What should we do? Accept cookies only for sites that you intend to engage with. Do not accept cookies from sites that you do not know. And one of the reasons why it's important that you do that is, don't forget that this vendor will have a file on your system. Even though that file cannot really on its own do harm, you certainly don't want people to capture information from your system and use it for, unknown reasons or illegal reasons. So it's important that you only engage or accept cookies from people you want to engage with. Okay? So accepting cookies is okay, but only accept cookies for websites that you know. Do not always accept because you are in a haste to get to the information you're looking out for on the website. Can't do that. That's not what we're going to advise at all. So make sure you are paying attention. Anything you accept, read. There's small print. Read. There can't be anything worse than accepting or saying yes to something that you haven't read. Very irresponsible. Naughty you. Okay, so please make sure that you are only accepting to do these things with vendors that you know. Okay? All right. More questions. I'm getting hello, hi. No questions. As I said, and I've said this often, that we give preference to those online. So your questions take precedence. But if we can't get your questions as I'm not seeing them come through, then I go to those who did not mind sending their own questions via the online form. Okay? Give you a few more seconds and I'll go to the second question. Ba-da-ba. I trust you guys are keeping safe. Yes, you're keeping safe. That's good. We need to do that. Safe, not saying safe now on the internet. I'm saying safe, as in physical safety. You and your families are doing well. We praise God for that. Okay? Hi, Joanna. You're very welcome. Good evening from my Asian family. God bless you. Okay. All right. Again, still no questions. So I'll go to the second question I have here. The question is simple. What is catfishing? Catfishing, and how catfishing, a question came through, so you noticed I was distracted. Catfishing. What is catfishing? And now this is very important for our parents, because catfishing, although a very old term, internet term I should add, if you browse the Family Cyber Clinic YouTube portal, you see a video or videos on techniques. And I believe they are techniques. Yeah. Phishing techniques, all manner of ways that these folk are able to, get us in a lot of bother. Now, catfishing from what the channel or clinic has researched, is basically a way these rogues are able to use fake identities online. So they will create a profile, and as a guy, say a very old guy, but the information related to that profile is that of a young boy. And you can have it also happen on the female side. Or you put a profile picture that is not you, that doesn't represent anything resembling you, and then you're engaging online on that pretense. And that is it is so deceitful, it is so believable, and generally we are warned. There are videos out there where you have, especially around online gaming, and we've shared videos on online gaming and the effects of that, especially regarding strangers, because that's the context of this whole catfishing thing, because you're dealing with strangers, you don't know who they are unless you see them face to face. So some have come up with ways to deceive. So you have a profile of a young boy, but the person who is driving that profile is a bad old guy who is only out to do harm. And so parents must be warned to engage. You must engage with your young ones. It is vital that you engage them so that you learn what they're doing and give them the advice that the clinic is giving you. So catfishing is on the rise somewhat, but if you do all the things we've mentioned about engaging and paying attention to signals that your young ones show, because you can also have bullying. I always pronounce that thing wrong. You have bullies, cyber bullies, who are masquerading as people that they're not, and that's also catfishing. And so you don't want anyone bullying your young one. You just make sure you're there. There's an open door policy that we've preached enough times so that your young one will come and tell you when things are off. But we've got to pay attention, okay? All right, so catfishing is on the rise. Make sure that if your young ones are playing games online, that they know who they're playing with and you're convinced that they know them. If they don't, then you have to question why they're doing it, because you have strangers masquerading online, and that can be dangerous, okay? All right, so we have questions now coming online, and I hope that has answered that question about catfishing. It is on the rise. Yes, I remember I said it was a phishing technique. Please forgive me. It's a social engineering technique. Catfishing is a social engineering technique. It's just designed to fool, designed to pretend, designed to hurt. Nothing good comes out of it. So please be aware. All right, so I'm going to start answering questions from the forum. All right, so not Juanita, Joanna has asked this question, and I think you can see it. Let me see if I can raise it. No, it's not that one, it's this one. All right, so she's asked, through COVID-19, I've noticed 30-day free trials that require payment details to be shared. Would there be a way to filter which of such sites or trials might be safer? Wow, that's a good question. Got to think. Let me think. Let me put it again so that others that are just coming will see it. Well, I'm having a chew, and I've just had a deep chew on that. Unfortunately, there's no way no legitimate way or no clear way to ascertain if these offers are genuine. And I know you've used the word safer, but from my experience, anything that you are not comfortable with, because I think when you journey on the internet, as long as many of us have, you sort of know when things are off. And that's why we give this information. When things are off, because you're talking about safety, your antenna is supposed to be, like that. You're just up in arms, making sure that you are treading carefully. Look for the telltale signs. What are they? Look for spelling mistakes. Look for check the URL. Remember, I said anytime you visit or you click on a link, make sure you hover over the link to see if it has any information there that portrays the site you're visiting. Let's say it's Amazon. You have an Amazon link and you hover over it and it says criticalcondition.com. Sorry, how that got into my head, I will not know. But a URL that is talking about Amazon, and when you hover it, it says www.criticalcondition.com. They don't link. That's a telltale sign that something is off. So look for those clues. Look for dodgy URLs. Look for spelling mistakes. And if there is a phone number, on the contact us page, for example, call that number and speak to a human being. Now, that on its own is not enough, but again, the whole idea is to gather as much information about these sites so that you feel comfortable parting with your crucial and personal information. And another advice that I would give, since you've mentioned payment details, I would only do business online via PayPal, as I've said in one of our recent videos. It will have to be something that is crucially required for me to hand over my bare credit card or debit card details. I will always go through the likes of PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay if they offer it, but it has to be a portal. Go via the portal so your information is not out there. As you know, those portals will not transfer or give out the key details of your cards. So there's there's security there, or if you like, a safety net. So I would say, Joanna, that to make those choices, you've got to look for the telltale signs, dodgy URLs, spelling mistakes, and if you're parting with money, make sure that you are doing it via those portals I mentioned. And because if you do that, there's protection afforded you going through the likes of PayPal, Google Play, and Apple Pay. Okay, I hope that has answered your question, but there is nothing that's just out there that you must do that I know of. And I hope that answers that question. Thank you. Brilliant question. Okay, I've got another question. Let's see. How can we tell? Okay, I'll just show you so that I'm not making this up. It says, how can we tell when a site is out to steal personal data from us? As someone who is often online, I need to protect my personal information from cyber criminals. How do I know a site can be trusted? Signs. Good question. Again, we've shared a lot of information on this. There are lots of signs that you can see that gives you some confidence. Some confidence on safety. I've said that if you go to a website and you see an exclamation mark against, I wish we had longer, I would have given you examples, but if you have just where you type the URL, the dot whatever, when the page comes up, if you have an exclamation mark on the left hand side of that page, it is suggesting to you that the environment you're in is not secure. I've used words like you must value HTTPS over HTTP. HTTP is normal browsing, and that's for those who are techie via port 80. But there's a secure port, which is port 443, which is HTTPS. And that would always give you the security that the data between your computer and the vendor you're visiting is secure. Okay, so securing the traffic between your computer and the internet or the website that you're visiting is clear. It's manifested by or confirmed, I should say, if you look at the URL and it's HTTPS. Sometimes you type in HTTP and then the other parts of the URL and it moves straight to HTTPS. That means the vendor has secured the URL, the typical URL, so that the traffic is encrypted. If traffic is encrypted, what that generally means is that no one can steal the information between your computer and the internet at that time. Okay, so those are signs. That's one sign, Juanita. Let's see. That's one sign. Another sign, critically, would be that you're using the portal, or rather, no, it's not a sign, but to protect yourself, because your question, let's put it up again. Your question says, how can we tell when a site is out to steal personal data from us? Well, to start with, if your browser has mentioned that this site is not secure, then you can assume that dodgy activity can happen whilst you're on that site. No one will clearly tell you I'm out to steal your data. It's only if you find that there's an insecure URL being flagged, or insecure website being flagged, that you should start suspecting. But that's not always proof that the site you're on is out to steal your data. It may just be that they have not bothered to encrypt the site or bothered to buy what's required. But you've said, as someone who is online, you need to protect your personal information. So this is where the second point comes in. Protecting your payment information, which is crucial and sensitive, would mean that you should always make purchases, via the portals that I mentioned, PayPal, Apple Pay, and Google Pay, because that's where the information is often lost. The sensitive information, make sure you are not clicking on links you don't know. That's another advice. Let's see. And just make sure that your system is protected. Make sure that your system has an antivirus, up-to-date antivirus, that you are patching your system regularly, and that you're just doing the right things. Make sure you're doing the right things. Don't visit sites that you have no business visiting, because you're going into the enemy's camp, really, when you do that. So those are things that we can do to prevent harm coming our way. Let's see. And I hope that's answered your question, Juanita. Is there any more? How do I know a site can be trusted? Okay, it's trusted by the sign. Basically, it's a certificate. There's a secure certificate that most sites who offer protection purchase. And when you purchase it and register it, you secure that site. Now, if you visit a site and it's announcing that it's not secure, then that's a problem. You can hover over the URL, usually in the browsing address bar, and it will tell you whether the site is secure or not. Just hover over it, as I've mentioned, and you will know. Okay, that's how you can trust the site. But still, make sure you're only putting out information in the public domain, which the internet is, that you are okay with. Don't put out information you're not okay with, because even the secure sites, as good and as comforting as it is to see the message, breaches still happen. And if a breach happens which is internal and external to you, your data is still with that vendor. So make sure you're putting out information that you are happy to share with the world, if it came to that. Don't put out information that you don't want to share. So keep your private business to yourself and only give out information that's a requirement, okay? But on secure sites. I hope that's answered. That's a long answer to a very good question. All right? Okay. Yeah, thank you, John. I thought that too. Red flags, look for them. All right, what's the best? I'll put this here. What's the best antivirus for family use? As great a question that is, there's no best antivirus application. It's more down to preference. And the clinic has in the past recommended several, and I'll give you 3 or 4 from experience. So I'm using these, I've used these, and I'll continue to use this. The first is McAfee, in no order of prowess. McAfee is one I've used for many years, and they have a very good history. You have Norton, Symantec. You have, and I've mentioned this too, Kaspersky, very family friendly. Those are the 3 that I have used. I do know that there are others, but I can only sell what I've used. So if you had access to McAfee, Norton, or Kaspersky, there's one that I'm missing. And I don't know why it's just gone, but it's, if I remember before the end, I'll let you know. But the 3 or 4 that I know I've recommended, if you browse the channel's videos, you see a video on antiviruses that we recommend. And please make sure you consume that content. Sophos, that's it. Sophos. Sophos, that's another one. So we have McAfee, Kaspersky, Norton, Symantec, and Sophos. Those are the 4. It doesn't mean that the other ones are not important. These are ones I've used, and the clinic stands by its recommendation. All right? So, Jonah, please use that. That should help. But again, it's not best. It's just that have antivirus. And those are the 4 we recommend. If you have an antivirus, and make sure, okay, if you're looking for best, look for ones that have an antivirus aspect and an anti-malware aspect to it. Okay? So he's looking out for viruses and he's looking out for malware. All 4 that I've mentioned do that. Okay? As I said again, please look at the video online on the clinic's video portal to get more information. Let's see. There's another question. I hope that's answered your question, Idowu. Oh, Idowu. Wow. And somehow, because you, well, I don't know whether the application doesn't do it, but I'm not seeing pictures against your avatar. So somehow I mixed, it says brown. So I thought it was still Joanna that asked the question, but it's Idowu. Idowu, very welcome. I thank you for your support. It means so much. Okay? All right. And I hope that's answered your question, Idowu. So next question, and I'm looking at the time. So we have very few minutes left. Let's see. I was wondering if paid online protection packages were helpful. or if I can protect myself without spending plenty of money. Vital question, but very little out there is free. Fortunately for us, many people who mean well are helping us fight this war against internet rogues. The rogues are out to maim us. The rogues are out to frustrate us. And there are other people who, in my total and humble opinion, are doing God's work, if you like. You know, they're there to help us tackle these rogues. And so supporting them, I also say investing in them to help arm yourself against these rogues. It's not money unduly spent. It's wisely spent, you know. And respectfully, paying $9.99, £10 or a $10 premium for protection that's proven, it's a worthwhile investment. Okay, so paying for online protection packages can only be a good thing if you're using the ones we recommend, because believe it or not, these same internet rogues have designed packages that purport to protect us, but they're milking us. You understand? So we need guidance. So yes, it's good to, we say it's good to pay a little price or a little premium for this online protection, but make sure you are buying these online packages from reputable vendors. And the clinic has mentioned, because we're talking about protection, I've answered Idowu's question already about the sort of protection we can do on the antivirus side of the fence. If you use the ones we've recommended, we stand by that recommendation. Okay? But paying for something that will help you can't be a bad thing. I hope that's answered your question, Juanita. Okay? We have 8 minutes to be together. Any more questions? Any more questions? Hey, Kareem, thank you. Let's see. Okay, I put this up, and this may well be our last question. And it's a brilliant question, Kareem. Thank you very much. It says, we're doing much of our browsing using our mobile phones. Excellent question. Are there specific security applications we should be using to increase protection while browsing on mobile? Brilliant question. And I think we have addressed it in a video, but if we haven't, forgive me, because it's a brilliant question. All right. Now, there's a difference in approach when it comes to... Come on. Can you see me? Yes, you can now. For some reason, it was focusing on here and you couldn't see me. Now, there is, on mobiles, the technology is different from what you have on desktops and tablets. A lot of work has gone into developing applications that protect, and that's why I said it's a brilliant question. Now, mobile, and I know that there's the antivirus applications for mobile, the mobile technology or the mobile ecosystem, iOS and Android. From my experience, they add a lot of noise. A lot of bugs come through it. So they're doing good, but they also bog down your mobile. But am I suggesting that you don't engage? We don't have enough information. Still don't, because I think that's what I said in the last video. We still don't have enough information whether the applications that are being sold for mobiles, whether they actually do the job. The one thing that we have said is that you must patch your iOS or your Android phone. The reason why that is the vendor closes holes that have been found that allow the rogue come in. What do I mean by that? There are bugs that are found on the mobile applications or mobile operating system you're using. Now, the vendor regularly tells you to apply updates, firmware updates, software updates. When they tell you to do that on a mobile, when you do that, you're hardening your mobile phone and you're closing the holes that the rogue will normally exploit. And that's it's quite robust. It does help. And so you don't really have many vendors who offer applications that protect. There are many other applications that just do some work. There are VPNs, for example, that vendors will say if you put on, you can protect yourself from sites that are out to harm you. So if you turn on a VPN on a mobile phone, you can visit sites and know that nothing will come down that's bad. That's okay. So there are VPNs, but we haven't used any in the clinic that we can say we recommend. But a VPN generally protects, just like it would do on a desktop, protects the traffic from your end with the person or people you're engaging. So using a VPN, a reputable VPN, will give you and offer a lot of protection. Antivirus applications exist. Anti-malware applications exist. Again, we have no recommendations, but it's certainly something that if you look through the channel, we would be looking at making those recommendations in the future so that you engage, with those, with the reputable vendors for the protection. But every other thing that you want or require, in terms of protection, the ecosystem itself provides. So you have a hardened iOS if you are up to date with the latest patch that Apple have released. And so it is for Google or the Android. Make sure that you are always up to date, patch-wise or operating system-wise, and that will definitely protect you, give you a lot of protection, okay? Also, use reputable browsers. Use Safari and Google on your mobile phone. Don't use any that anybody has just come up with, because that's what you're using to browse the internet in the first place. So we recommend Google, Chrome, and we recommend Safari. That's on the mobile. Of course, we have recommendations for Internet Explorer and Edge on the desktop, but mobile is what we're referring to. So you must use reputable browsing applications, internet browsing applications, to afford you the protection. All right. I think that has addressed that question, I hope. But I'm so chuffed that we've been able to spend the hour together. As I've said in the posts, the flyers, and I've said at the beginning, please make sure you're subscribing to this channel. Make sure that you are getting others, I should say, to subscribe to the channel and like the content. When I say in my other videos, I say support this channel, I really do mean it. You support me by telling YouTube that you like what you are hearing. Some of you send the information via, thanks Karim, I've seen that. I'm glad that it helped. YouTube will only promote your content if it notices engagement. And so when you like my content, only if you like it, you are telling YouTube, please tell others. When you subscribe to my channel, the same thing. Eventually down the line, there'll be opportunities to monetize, but that's not my focus. It was at some point until I saw better. But ultimately, like the content, and not just during the video time, but even when you read and share the link with others. And that's why we say subscribe, Remember to subscribe, remember to like and all that. If I had my way, I won't say it, but I know that it has to be said to get the people who you want this content to reach. It's been a huge privilege to serve you today. We'll have another one at the end of September, the last Saturday of September. I'm hoping that you were able to, engage and get the value that I aim every waking day to give you as parents over those wonderful children. I pray that you will go into the month of September even more armed to take your young ones on their internet journey. I'm your host, Cyber Pastor Lawrence Edem. Until the next video, be safe, God bless, and goodbye.